Medical supplies will be provided to everyone in need.
Oh my God, this is so unreal.
Police station's not much farther. They'll know something.
Yeah, but what if we're the only ones? What if there's no
No,
survivors?
there's survivors. It's a big city. There has to be.
And welcome back to another episode of Under Review, where we look at all the latest and greatest games for a majority of all the consoles. This week we are looking at the reimagining of Capcom's classic game, Resident Evil 2. Now, okay, there is one thing that I have to make perfectly clear, and I think Capcom wanted to shout this from the rooftops as well. This isn't just a retooling of the original game or a palette cleanse. This is a complete redo of the game. There's not no just graphic or sound upgrades. This is a complete redo. Starting from scratch. Now, yes, many of the environments are going to give you that rush of nostalgia. But the truth is, this is a new game. This is why I think they left the word remake completely off of the title. This was a reimagining. Now, many of the game's main elements are still intact. The different club keys to open doors, certain environments, characters are all solid blast from the past. But the puzzles that you're used to are not the same. Some are completely taken out and gone. There's a lot of brand new ones, and there's retellings or redoings of some of your originals. So if you went into this game thinking, oh, I know how to solve this puzzle, and I know how to solve this puzzle, you're not going to know how to solve any of them. They're all different now. And there are different areas of the world you can access that were never able to before, which is a very good thing. Now, when the original one released back in 1996, it helped define a genre. The horror genre never saw anything like this before, and it mixed well with action and isolation feeling into a world that has been taken over by the dead, coming back to life. Now, this was a game based on quick decision making and knowing when to engage enemies and when just to turn around and just run the other way. Or run around or sneak around certain zombies that are busy doing other things. Now, why? Ammo was scarce, and there is nothing different about this game this time around. Now, coming off of the success of Resident Evil 7, Capcom took many of the gameplay elements from that game and applied them to this version of RE2. RE7 brought back the horror aspect of the game and the survival aspect. Ammo was scarce, and health had to be used in moderation because death really could be looming around every corner. A formula that tends to work very well, especially within the confines of the early Resident Evil titles. Now, one major difference that players are going to notice straight off the bat is the camera angles have changed. Again, going from previous RE games, like example, Resident Evil 4, it goes over the shoulder or behind the character camera view, instead of the original RE2 fixed camera angles. Now, I, for one, am actually okay with this, even though there are some that are just not okay with that. They kind of want those fixed camera angles. I personally could not stand them. I like the feel of being able to maneuver with my character instead of having to look at this fixed camera and try to maneuver my character that way. Now, the whole fixed camera angle. If you're one of those that kind of want to live in that nostalgia, that's perfectly fine. But to me, I feel we have evolved in gaming, and I, for one, do not want just a reskin of the original game. I want a reimagining, which this game really was. New areas, different cameras, further character development, especially knowing these characters as we do now, and still keeping that horror feel. And I think this does it very, very well, even with an over-the-shoulder camera view. Now, the reimagining also adds more tension to the game by making the zombies ruthless. Even on easy mode, you will see yourself popping off 3 rounds into a zombie's face before you kill him, which makes encounters tense and ammo a much more higher commodity. The game lavishes in the blood and gore aspect. I will say that. This is not a game for those that are a bit squeamish when it comes to blood and gore, and most definitely not for children. You will again have many different weapons at your disposal, from your standard handguns that you start the game with to shotguns, which can blow limbs off of zombies, and a knife that can cut through zombies' arms, legs, etc. The controls have also tightened up to make the claustrophobic environments feel a bit easier to maneuver. Quick turnarounds is now a simple button click. And one question I had that was answered in the very beginning is, yes, I can walk and shoot. I don't have to just stand still, shoot. I can walk and shoot at the same time. One feature I wanted to make sure found its way from later iterations of the series. Now, this comes in handy when you complete about a third of the game, a character named Mr. X shows up, who is a special bioweapon created which will cause destruction and withstand the ultimate beating. And this adds a new level to tension. And is there, and the character is there to find a sample of the virus causing the zombie outbreak. This character will chase you from room to room and follow you anywhere and everywhere. Also, he can grab you and break you into 2. Now, keep in mind that you need to save your ammo when you're confronted with this guy, if you can, because he cannot be killed. There is no killing him. So don't try to sit there and unload all your ammo just to try to kill him. You can't do it. He can be stunned, but never killed. All you can do is elude him. And even when you do that, it's only for a short time. He will wander off to try to find you, and the encounter will happen again. And sometimes it happens at the most obscure time, or a time that you really don't want to have that type of encounter. Now, Resident Evil 2 is a great way to start the new year off. This is what horror games are supposed to be, and just like the original, it's going to be a fan favorite. We have waited for a very long time for this game to get remade, and they finally delivered a product that not only core Resident Evil fans are going to enjoy, but a new audience of fans are going to embrace. The nostalgia feeling will return to those that remember the original, and has very, very few stumbles along its way. Now, for that, we gave Capcom's Resident Evil 2 reimagining, I'm just going to call it Resident Evil 2, no remake, Resident Evil 2 a very impressive 9 out of 10. It is a great horror game, a great reimagining of a classic that we have all loved and continue to play to this day. And it's going to leave much to play even further on down the line when we take on Claire's story as well. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, everybody, game on.